The Raspberry Pi is a small, inexpensive computer that can run a full desktop operating system, and it's become one of my favorite platforms for software development. In this video, we'll show how to get started with a Raspberry Pi. We'll do an overview of the hardware, we'll buy a board and accessories, we'll assemble the device, and we'll install the Raspbian operating system. The Raspberry Pi is a single-board computer developed by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. It's no larger than a credit card, but squeezes in all of the ports and connectors that one would expect from a modern computer. There are USB ports, HDMI and composite video output, a headphone jack, and an Ethernet port. There's also a bank of pins up top, known as the General Purpose Input-Output, or GPIO connector, for use in connecting any electronic device that doesn't plug into one of the other ports. To buy a Raspberry Pi, we'll go on Amazon and search for Raspberry Pi 3B+, which is the latest model. There's also a Raspberry Pi 3A+, which is a smaller board but has no Ethernet port. After finding the Raspberry Pi motherboard, we then look for accessories, starting with a micro SD card to hold the operating system and other software. I'd recommend one with a size of at least 16 gigabytes. We'll also need a power supply. Here, we'll get one that's labeled as a Raspberry Pi power supply. However, just about any power supply with a micro USB connector will do the job. A cell phone charger or USB hub can power the Raspberry Pi perfectly well. We see that our Amazon cart ended up at $53.88. Not too bad for a fully featured computer system, I'd say. You'll also want to pick up a USB keyboard if you don't have one already. Getting a case to hold the board is often a good idea as well. Here, we're using Pibo cases from Pimoroni. Ah, such speedy delivery. With our components in hand, we'll now proceed to downloading the Raspbian operating system and writing it onto the microSD card. Raspbian images can be obtained for free at raspberrypi.org. For writing the SD card, we'll use a program called Balena Etcher, which we download from balena.io. After installing Etcher onto a Windows computer equipped with an SD card reader, we use it to select our Raspbian operating system image and flash. When the SD card becomes ready, we take it and insert it into our Raspberry Pi, then plug in our monitor and power. The Raspberry Pi boots into the Raspbian desktop. From here, we can browse and launch the software that comes pre-installed. There's a selection of programming and sound and video tools, as well as the Chromium web browser. Of course, it's possible to download and install any new software we'd want to run as well. In our next video, we'll look at how the Raspberry Pi can run applications from Membrane software to help you browse your video collection and watch your movies. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of how to get started on Raspberry Pi. It's a great little computer, and one I think has a bright future ahead of it. Until next time, enjoy the technology and have a great day.